You are now listening to the Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zach and Zoe. Thank you for joining us as we talk about the movies of yesteryear. You can reach us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter by searching for Backlook Cinema. Check our show notes for more info, and now, let's get it in.
Hi, my name is Zach.
And this is Alonzo, and this is the Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zach and Zoe. This is where we take a look back at the movies of yesteryear. And today we took a look at
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop, starring Eddie Murphy. That, my friends, was a fine movie. But before we get to that, let me ask, Zachary, have you had a good week this week?
Yeah, sure, I guess you can say that.
So what you do this past week?
Play games, only two of them.
Which ones were those?
Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah, I saw you playing a little bit of Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I didn't know you had Call of Duty Cold War. That's a new one that just came out. When did that one come out?
Like a few days ago, something like that.
So I also saw a video of you posted something, I guess on Twitter.
On YouTube and Twitter, yes. It's a link from my Twitter account to my YouTube account where I showed a gameplay of me basically doing the best I can.
Yeah, I think the computer awarded you had the best kill scene or whatever.
Oh yeah, apparently I was awarded. Oh yeah, look at this. He was the best one that got the best kills. So we're gonna give him the reward of being the replay. And I was like, oh, cool, neat, haha.
Yeah, because when I first started looking at the video, I don't normally look at gameplay videos, and I started looking at it, I was like, why is he displaying this video on YouTube of him just getting killed?
I mean, I'm getting killed, other people getting killed, I'm killing them.
Because you was getting murked a lot, and then you started getting to your groove, and then you started doing some pretty fancy gunplay over there, and then you did that thing where you started shooting people, you set up the gun torrent, and then as two guys were walking at the door, you shot them in the face, and that's why you got the award.
That was in the beginning of the match. I was like, oh, look at this is neat. I was like, and then when I did, I was like, I feel like I'm not gonna get it. And that's when I was like, oh, look, there's a giant plane in the sky. Let me try to shoot it. Nope. Okay, looks like that's going to get the kill of the play. I'm pretty sure that's what it felt like. But apparently, no, I got it.
Right. Yeah, that looked pretty decent. So as I was watching it, I was like, see, that's why I'm not that good at first-person shooters, because it's such a narrow field of vision. Like, you can only see what's directly in front of you. It's like if you was a soldier and you had absolute tunnel vision, you can only see in front of you. So you have no peripheral vision. You don't know what's going on beside you. You can't hear anything. It's not like you can kind of hear somebody sneaking up behind you or anything.
I mean, yeah, you can't hear them, but you can hear them running.
Right, you can kind of hear that, but it's like there's so many senses that I feel would get cut off when you're like in real life, that you would experience in real life if you were actually in that situation. But in a video game, I feel like there's so many senses that are cut off. So that's probably, and besides, I can't really aim in first-person shooters.
I mean, I can't either. I'm bad at it.
So I guess you'd probably be better off with a shotgun.
No, I wouldn't. I still get killed with a shotgun because they run up on me. I shoot them. It's supposed to be a one-hit kill, but then it's like, no, not a one-hit kill.
Well, yeah, you are. They are wearing vests, so that armor is pretty good. So let's see what. Oh, I had bought that Star Wars flight game. What was that one called?
I don't know, but I did see you playing. I was like, oh, okay, that's the Star Wars flight game he's talking about.
Right, I was playing, and it's like I thought I was pretty good at. That I would be pretty good at it, but as it turns out, I hadn't played a flight simulator game in a long time, so I was way rusty. I was super rusty playing that game, and so I forgot a lot of the sense of how to play such a game. And the other thing about that was, I was playing it on like they had 4 levels of difficulty, so I was playing on the 3rd difficulty, and I was like, you know what, I might have to dial this back a bit. I don't want to play on baby mode, but I might have to dial it back a little bit.
Just play it on normal mode. That's the first thing.
Well, that's the thing they had. They had 2 normals. It was like 2 normal modes. Like they had one where it was a mode where it's like you want to play the game, but it was supposed to be for me. Like, you want to play the game, but you're not that experienced in flight simulators, which I should have picked. And then there was one was like it's called Veteran. It's like you're a veteran at flight simulators, and I wasn't. And see, I'm not a veteran at that sort of game anymore. So that's the one I should have chose and did not choose, and I was getting murked a lot. But I started getting used to it as I continued to play some more. But that I just bought it because it was on sale. It was $23. Yeah, let me go ahead and cop this because it's not it's not really a full game, or at least the single player is not a full game. It's really for online play, so they give you a short campaign and then you can play online. But I'm probably not going to do it. I know I'm going to get murked a lot online. I'm not as good in it as I used to be. So, and the other thing I played was I had downloaded Rambo, Rain, and Melina for Mortal Kombat 11. So I played a little bit of that. I played a little bit of Rambo, and I like his moveset. Except he's got this crawling moveset. I don't know how to utilize that one. It's like I guess you have to be a little bit more clever because there's some types of gameplay where a person can plan his moves ahead. It's almost like playing chess, and I'm not really that type of player. I can't really plan my moves out like that. But everything else about the character is pretty good. He is very satisfying playing as Rambo, doing his fatalities, and at the end of one of his fatalities, he's like, "Mission accomplished." So I'm like, "Yeah, that'll work." But I haven't done a deep dive into either Rain or Melina yet, but I'll get to him directly. So you haven't read any books or anything?
No, not at all. Not one.
You should
No.
get into some books. You should read some books. I could point you in the right direction.
No, you're good. You're already doing this. That's fair enough.
So the other thing I've been doing this week is so for those of you who heard last episode, unbeknownst to Zachary, I recorded episode 3 alone because we weren't able to do it last weekend together. So I recorded that and I explained how I was putting something special together. You know what? You should look at it right now. Zachary, I want you to go on your computer and I want you to pull up www.backlookcinema.com. Go, do it now. Do it now.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Do it now. So while he's doing that, the rest of you know all the hard work I put in putting this website together. It's funny because it's so, I guess having a website is so gauche now. Nobody really does it anymore. But I grew up in the 80s, so I always wanted one. So anyway, backlookcinema.com is your one-stop shop. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to hit a link on our social media, that's where you can find our Twitter at Backlook Cinema. That's where you can find the Instagram, Backlook Cinema Podcast, and that's where you can connect to Facebook, the Backlook Cinema Podcast on Facebook. You can go to all of those places and leave a comment or a star or whatever on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or, you know what, just about any place that you can download and listen to a podcast, you can find Backlook Cinema Podcast. And you can leave a comment or leave a review. They say that that's how your show goes up in the algorithms. I don't know. I don't expect to go up in the algorithms for a long time. Did you find the website? It's taking you a long time to...
Yeah, I found it because I'm on Google. You know, for some reason I see it hours on it. Talking about from 12 a.m. on Monday, and I'm like, okay. So I don't know why I see that. That makes no sense.
You know, you should talk into the microphone because nobody can hear you.
Yeah, I know they can't hear me. That's a good thing.
How come you couldn't get it up on the main computer?
I don't know. Something's happening with Google. I don't know what's going on. I don't have time with it. I'm not dealing with it.
That's not even the right website.
Sure.
That's not it. I mean this is it. This is a website, but that's not.
That looks like your website because it has a logo and everything. and all that nonsense.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it for you. So now, oh, it says this website can't be reached. Oh, well, I don't know why that is. Okay, I have to. Something must have happened to it. That's embarrassing. We'll worry about it later. So anyway, because I did work on it earlier today, so maybe I did something to it where it went offline. That's okay. I'll work on it later. But anyways, so as we mentioned earlier, we looked at Beverly Hills Cop, starring Eddie Murphy. Zachary, as you speak into the microphone, tell the audience what you thought of that movie.
Thought it was really funny, real good and funny.
Also, if you think it's funny, it must have aged extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Eddie Murphy very early in his career when he became a rising star, and it was it was a very important film. It was just funny. It was just a great movie. It seems like as soon as the producers saw the first movie, they almost immediately ordered a sequel. So let's see. So what about what? I guess we can do that later. The parts about the movie that you liked, but let me get into the technicals. Beverly Hills Cop, where a freewheeling Detroit cop pursues a murder investigation, finds himself dealing with a very different culture of Beverly Hills. Let's see. As I stated earlier, this stars Eddie Murphy. It also has Judge Reinhold. That's the police that was the very how should I say this, the very straight laced police officer that he hooks up with in the beginning. So you had the one that punched him in the gut, that was John Ashton, and his partner that was played by Judge Reinhold, and then Lisa Abacher. I don't know how to say that. It's something like that, right?
I think you should have learned how to practice on how to say it.
Maybe I should have.
Before you started.
I should have went to Google or something and tried to figure that out. Ronnie Cox, which I clearly misspelled. And Stephen Burkhoff, and there are a number of others. Also, it was directed by Martin Brest, which is a funny name. At least I know how to say it. Martin Brest. Who directed Scent of a Woman, Midnight Run, Meet Joe Black, and Spies Like Us. Of these, I haven't seen any of those movies, but I know they're great movies, but I hadn't seen any of those. Written by Daniel Petri, and Danilo Bach. I can say that one. The music was composed by Harold Faltermeyer, because he also did Beverly Hills Cop 2, Top Gun, and Cop Out, which is very recent movies. But I think the theme that we heard throughout the movie was actually by Herbie Hancock. I'd have to look that up, but it sounds like. But it's like you have the background music, but then you also have like the music that's on the the soundtrack, the where you have the pop music soundtrack. So this is one of those movies where the pop music soundtrack was more popular than like the orchestral soundtrack. So in that you heard Herbie Hancock, you heard I think it was the Pointer Sisters. So it was their song that was that was basically the theme of the movie. It was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, but this is before. This is back when it was Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. So they were instrumental in making a lot of the action movies back in the day. So they were the ones that made what's that Will Smith and that Will Smith movie with Martin Lawrence. You remember that one?
No, I don't.
I mean, they just did a sequel. What's that? The last sequel. It's the only movie that came out this summer because of the pandemic. I can't remember it. Anyways, he did that. he did that one. But see, it didn't. No, that was somebody else. I'm trying to think. Anyways, Jerry Bruckheimer also continued with Pirates of the Caribbean series, the Armageddon. Remember the Titans. Oh, Bad Boys for Life. That's what it was. I have it written down.
That is simply horrible.
I have it written down. I totally missed it. And released by Paramount, but it also had Eddie Murphy's production company. So when I bought that DVD, Eddie Murphy got a little piece of money from it.
Yeah.
So I got some trivia here. Eddie Murphy, John Astin, and Judge Reinhold improvise. These trivia, by the way, is from IMDb. Anyway, these three stars, they did hundreds of takes, were ruined by cast members, actors, or the director laughing during shooting during the Super Cops monologue. You remember that, the Super Cops?
Are you talking about when Eddie Murphy had a lie about the Super Cops telling him,
Right.
oh, yeah, they came into the strip bar because they knew about these two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyone would come in and interrupt.
Right. Now, you remember the part when one of the detectives, he was holding his face?
Oh, yeah,
And
because
when
he's
you
trying to
couldn't
hold
see-
in his laughter.
That's exactly
That's one of
right.
the key signs of someone trying to hold in his laughter.
It said Ashton is pinching his face hard, looking down in apparent frustration. He's actually laughing. Reinhold put his hand in his pocket and pinched his thigh really hard, trying to prevent himself from laughing.
I mean, you have to do something to stop yourself from ruining a good scene.
And remember, Eddie Murphy, he's almost ad-libbing this part. So he's probably, every time they do a take, he's probably saying something different every time. So every time, so they can't be prepared because he's going to say something different. They start laughing again. And then another one I have is Gilbert R. Hill is a real-life Detroit Police Department homicide detective. He played Inspector Todd. You remember who Inspector Todd is?
It's Todd. If I remember, he was the one in Beverly Hills.
No.
No.
Inspector Todd is the one that Eddie Murphy or Axel Foley, he called him boss when he was back in New York. So he's a real life police department detective. Another thing I noticed about this movie is that I can remember, like a lot of in the 80s movies, I don't remember the character's name. I just remember the actor's name that played him. Like I remember watching Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't remember the character in Commando, or when he was in Predator, the first Predator movie. I don't remember the character's name. I just remember Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's horrible when they say their names multiple times.
Yeah, they'll say their names multiple times. Their name will get called a lot of times, but I do not remember. But one of the few movies, like Rambo, I remember the character's name over the actor's name. Or Rocky's the same way. I can remember the character's name over the actor's name. But with this movie in particular, I can remember Axel Foley, particularly because it was such a strange name. I mean, his name is Axel, like the car part that connects the wheel. That's what I think about every time.
I'm just thinking of a video game.
There's a big.
Yeah, if I remember Street Fighter, they had a character named Axel.
No, I don't remember that one.
Of course you don't.
Well, he's not a major character.
I know
he's hardly important. It's not like Ken or Ryu. So they said he later served as president of Detroit City, which is weird. They have a president, not a mayor. Oh, well, I better check that fact. Anyway, another little trivia. This is the highest grossing R-rated film in the U.S. until The Matrix Reloaded. In 2003, eclipsed it 19 years later. The funny thing about this, today is PG-13 at best. It's like, because back then they didn't have a PG-13 rating. There was no gore, just only a tiny bit of blood, a splash of nudity, barely that, and just a lot of curse words. Just a lot. They dropped a lot of F-bombs. It's like if a plane and on the side of the plane it said F-bomb, flying overhead, and the pilot was like, pilot the bombardier, and the bombardier was like, yes, and the pilot was like, you can release the payload, and the bombardier releases the payload, and he drops a whole bunch of F-bombs, and that's what This movie did that. Dropped a lot of F-bombs.
It did.
Let's see. If inflation were taken into account, it would be the third most highest attended R-rated film after The Exorcist in 1973 and The Godfather in 1972. Oh, now here's something fun. This is supposed to be a Sylvester Stallone movie.
Is that really supposed to be a Sylvester Stallone
It was now, obviously, if it were a Sylvester Stallone movie,
it wouldn't have been comedy.
Right, absolutely right. It would be completely different. Axel Foley was originally going to be played by Sylvester Stallone or Mickey Rourke. Do you remember who Mickey Rourke is?
Somewhat. Not fully.
Remember Iron Man 2?
Oh, him, yes.
So the guy that had...
Yeah, and the one with the whip, yes, I remember, yes.
Yeah, that's Mickey Rourke. Stallone left the project and used some of his script ideas to make Cobra in 1986. Cobra. That was an okay movie, I guess. I mean, it wasn't as... It didn't meet my expectations when I seen it, so I don't think that we'll be reviewing it on this podcast. But I did see it. Also considered for the role, Jeff Bridges, James Caan, Billy Crystal, Robert De Niro, Harrison Ford, Richard Gere, Mel Gibson, Gregory Hines, Michael Keaton, Nick Nolte, Al Pacino, Richard Pryor, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Russell, Arnold Schwarzenegger, John Travolta, Robin Williams, and Bruce Willis. These are all going
White
to be
people.
not because they have Gregory Hines.
Well, their main objective was a white person because his name is Axel.
No, well that could be anybody. We all have white names. Zachary is a white name. Alonzo is technically a white name. So yeah,
the main priority was to make it a straight up action film.
Yeah, they was going to make it a straight up action film.
But then if they had Robert Williams, that would have been a comedy.
It would have been, yeah.
Especially with Robert Williams because he's just gonna go off.
Yeah.
Because when you look at Aladdin, they didn't stop that.
Well,
man.
also Michael Keaton and Richard Pryor and maybe even Kurt Russell because he had dabbled in comedy. Maybe Robin Williams. I mean, not Robin Williams. John Travolta. He could have taken it on a comedic bent. So yeah, that's it's amazing the type of scripts, all the scripts that they went through. Because another bit of trivia that I read that I didn't write down because I'm just reading off of my phone is that this script had went through so many revisions that in one. Do you remember when that the chief lieutenant in Beverly Hills he came into the office. He had a bunch of paper rolled up.
Yeah.
The paper was actually scripts that they were using. They were all taped together because there were so many revisions that he just came up with a huge roll of taped together scripts because they kept adding in and revising the script. So that in itself is amazing that they had this movie was as good as it was, having gone through so many revisions. Because usually when a script goes through like that, or if it goes through a bunch of different screenwriters, the movie normally don't turn out that good. So that was great. That was great that turned out that way. So we're going to take a break right now. And once again, this is brought to you by, I don't know, who's our sponsor again?
I don't know. I don't need to know. I don't even want to know because I feel like I already know who it is.
Yes, you know who it is. It's Spacious Choice. Remember, it's not the best choice.
Yeah, it's Spacious Choice.
That's right.
From plasma rifles and energy drinks, you can trust the family at Spacious Choice to provide for your needs. Spacious Choice has been the choice for everyone from the long-haul freight captain to the hotel concierge for decades. With dependable quality and build, you can trust Spacious Choice for your every need. Need an extra boost of energy to get you through your workdays? Then try our famous Adrenatime Enhancers. Need to quench your thirst? Then try our dehydrated water tablets. Need to deal with some pest marauders? Then you can rely on our durable yet affordable suite of self-defense options such as the Good Word, which is our best-selling light machine gun. Yes, folks, for whatever you may need, you can trust a family at Spacer's Choice to have a ready solution for you. We are conveniently located everywhere there may be human life, as our vending machines are at hundreds of locations. Just use code BACKLOOK at checkout at our official Spacer's Choice vending machine to get a 20% discount. This offer may not be available from Earth. And remember, Spacer's Choice. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us at the Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zach and Zoe. He's Zach, I'm Zoe. And on this next portion, we're going to talk about what we liked about the film and what we think could have used maybe a little bit of improvement. And while we were on break, we went and we took a look at the site. I guess there's nothing wrong with the site. It was just that we had problems getting online. It's still beautiful. And I'm so proud of it. What did you think of the site, Zachary?
I think you need help. That's all I said. I think you need help.
He said, speaking loudly into the mic, that I need help.
I'm pretty sure they know. They heard me say, you need help. You need a doctor, a professional doctor.
I don't. I got all the help I need. I have you.
I'm not a doctor.
And
I don't have a PhD.
I don't need somebody with a fancy schmancy PhD.
Yes, you do.
I got you.
You clearly need one.
Just remember, you the one that sent that picture to be uploaded to the website.
I'm not even talking about the picture. I'm talking about all of this.
Well, it's a hobby. It's just something that we're doing. So anytime you feel like you're making some contributions to the site, just let me know. And we can make it happen together.
Uh-huh.
As father and son, we shall rule the universe.
Uh-huh.
Yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
So, what did you think of the movie? What were your favorite parts?
The whole Super Cop bit was one of the good ones. When Axel kept breaking in to interrupt the bad guy every time. Like, he did it twice. The first time was in his office, and then the second time when he was at a buffet, a fancy buffet where only members can get into.
Yeah, he was good at that. He was always just sort of barging in. I also really enjoyed the Super Cop bit. Let me think. What were the other parts? I mean, basically, the whole movie was great for me. I can't really think of like a singular part that I liked above all else, but the Super Cop bit, that was probably one of the best ones. I also wanted to make note of one of the first appearances of Damon Wayne in a movie. Do you remember when he went to put the banana in the tailpipe?
Uh-huh, yeah.
So the guy that he went to get the bananas, that was Damon Wayne's. That was one of his first parts.
Really now.
Do you remember who Damon Wayne is?
He was the waiter putting up the fruit basket.
No, I mean, but do you remember who Damon Wayne's is?
No, not all together, no.
That's before your time. So for people in my generation, we remember Damon Wayans from In Living Color and from the various movies he did. Like he did a movie with Bruce Willis called The Last Boy Scout. I think we should put that on the list. That's also a great movie. But yeah, his In Living Color bits were the great. He was the one that did Homie the Clown. Homie, don't play that. I also liked what else about the movie? When he sent room service down to give them because the cops are supposed to be watching Axel Foley when he's in Beverly Hills. They're on a stakeout, and they're supposed to be watching Axel Foley, and but Axel, also being a cop, knows that he's being followed, knows they're on a stakeout, and he sends his room service to their car outside to give them room service. And that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. So while they're getting room service, he sticks the bananas up the tailpipe, which I'm still not convinced works. But he sticks the banana up the tailpipe and then waves at them, and they're trying to chase him, but he just drives off, and their car stalls out because the exhaust is blocked because there's a banana in the tailpipe.
I mean, there's like 3 of them, so I think that's why it worked.
Yeah, it
there's
probably
3
worked.
bananas in there. So that could work with an old car like that.
Right,
Not with
right.
a new car.
Did you recognize the lieutenant? The he's played by Ronnie Cox, but the lieutenant that scolded in Beverly Hills, that scolded all of his officers.
No, I did not recognize him at all.
Okay, he's the same guy in Total Recall, where he's the chief on Mars. Yeah, he's that guy. He's either playing, always playing an official of some type. He's like a great character actor, so you'll often see him as some kind of high-ranking official in a movie or TV show. The last time I saw him, he was in Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he was playing a captain, and he had replaced Picard on the Enterprise because Picard had to go on a special mission. But once again, playing a high-ranking administrative official. And did you notice how Eddie Murphy tasted, or Axel Foley tasted, the cocaine when they went to the warehouse?
Yeah.
Have you seen people do that in other movies or TV shows?
Sometimes, yeah, they stick their finger like, this is not powdered sugar. And I'm like, how would you even know what cocaine tastes like from powdered sugar? How is there a real difference to know powdered sugar and cocaine tasting? I know cocaine, you sniff it up your nose, but as far as tasting it, I'm not sure if it has a taste or it does have a taste.
Oh, that's an excellent point that you made, and the reason I brought that up is because the reason why they always show TV officers sticking cocaine in their mouths is because cocaine is an anesthetic. So if you put it on your skin, if you put it on your tongue will go numb. If you put it on your gum will go numb. Doctors used to use it when it was legal. Doctors used to use it they would put it on your eye when they had to do eye surgery because it is very powerful anesthetic. So that's why they always stick it in their mouths. It doesn't taste like anything because your tongue goes numb. So it does. You can't taste it. You won't be tasting anything for a little while. so that was one. Also, what other notable moments about this movie that you can recall?
Let's see, when they're about to go into the house and they're like, hey, I need you to go to the warehouse. Check that out. Also, I'm going to need some backup at this house. Like, what do you mean you need backup? Just go to the warehouse and send some backup. I'm going to need it. Trust me. It's a hunch.
Right.
Something's about to go down.
Right. He's able to live off his hunches. In this movie is basically Eddie Murphy's or Axel Foley's street smarts versus extremely uptight, stick up the butt procedural that the Beverly Hills Cop tend to stick to. And the reason they tend to stick to that is because they're in Beverly Hills. This is like an extraordinarily wealthy area, so they've got to be on their P's and Q's. Another interesting piece of trivia that I had come across is that the buildings that they use, since they actually filmed in Beverly Hills, so that the police department that they used in the movie, that's the actual Beverly Hills Police Department. The only difference they made is that they had to spruce up the greenery at the police department because it was all brown when they went there to do the film. It was like, oh no, we can't film this. We got to spruce it up a little bit. They had to reupholster the place because it was all messed up. I can't remember anybody that was notable. Well, there was one in very early in the film. So they had the police officer that kept talking to Axel Foley, and Axel kept telling him to shut up. That he was played by Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser is also at the time he was an up and coming comedian, and he's been in a bunch of different movies, but he's most noted for a sitcom called Mad About You, which is, or at least very recently, gone through a revival on one of the streaming channels. They're redoing Mad About You, and then the other one, let's see, there's him, Damien. Oh, okay, Bronson Pinchot. He's not in many movies, but most people remember him from Perfect Strangers, where he played a foreigner named Balky. Now, if you think of, he's almost like Borat, except a low key type of Borat. A Borat that's not Not as I don't know. I don't know. I'll just say he's very similar to Borat. But anyways, so that guy, he was when he went to the art gallery and he kept offering Axel coffee with a twist,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lemon.
A lemon twist.
Yeah. So that is Bronson Pinchot playing that character. And so yeah, so that was great. It was a nice blend of action and comedy. So, what did you think of the music in the film?
Well, like 80s music, this left and right, no matter where you turn, it was nothing but 80s music.
Yeah, it would be because this film takes place in the 80s. It's not.
Only one song I picked up was well, I Know It, going by Crazy Frog. In the first part, dun 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 dun, yeah, that part. That's the only thing I noticed. I was like, oh, I know this one.
Right.
This without the Crazy Frog part.
Right,
This
right.
the intermental.
Right. That was I think that was Herbie Hancock. I'm 90% sure it is. Also, I caught Crazy Girls. I think that was the one that was in the strip club. So what's interesting about Crazy Girls, it was basically a song by Vanity. Vanity was one of the proteges of Prince, and Vanity also appears in another movie that I don't know. Have you seen a movie called The Last Dragon?
Probably not.
Oh, we should check that out too.
No.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. That might be next week's episode. So she was a co-star of The Last Dragon, but she hadn't made too many appearances on film or TV or made too many albums. And I think later on she became a minister. Sadly, she passed away several years ago. So anyway, so you hear that song in the background, and that song, as I said, she's one of Prince's proteges, and so it was one of Prince's songs. You can almost tell a Prince song even when he's not singing it, because it just sounds like a song that Prince would sing, and he tends to be in the background and in the songs and in his own songs, singing background. So let's see. What else can you think of? Because I'm running dry. I'm running dry.
What do you mean me?
Yeah, I'm running
Yeah,
dry.
it's supposed to be you thinking these up, not me. You know this.
Yeah, but we need to get the movie from your perspective.
Oh my God.
You running dry too?
No, I'm not. I'm just not trying to think at the moment.
So, anyways, let's see.
Well, again, you do have the strip club scene where he notices two guys coming in. Now, the cops don't even pay attention that he already pointed out that they're wearing, long coats for no reason inside a strip club in the middle of, I think he said July.
Yeah, that would be strange, wouldn't it?
And then he's like, hey, go over there. I want you to stay over there. And then, just wait it out. And then he gets up, goes on like, hey, buddy, it's you. I missed you. He's acting all drunk as if he knows the guy, which causes him to freak out and automatically pull out his shotgun to try to rob the place. And then he gets up, goes back over to the guy. Before he even gets shot, he pushes the shotgun up, and throws him on the ground. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was very gutsy of him, and he's able to do that without burning his hands off because the barrel tends to get really hot. But yeah, that was a slick move, and then the other cop who he told to go over, he was able to ambush the other guy before he could fire a shot. Stop or I'll blow your head off or something like that. Or stop or I'll kill you. Yeah, that thing, that's what he said. And that was the appropriate sentence. Stop or I'll kill you. My favorite part about the super cop scene is he told it when the other two cops told the truth. He said that was a perfectly good die.
That was a perfectly good lie. And you two ruined it. I was like, I mean, what do you expect them to do?
He expected them not to say anything or to back him up, but it was like that was a perfect. He was falling for it. It was working.
And then at the end of the movie, he ends up doing the same thing to the supervisor. And then he was like, is this true? And they're all looking at each other like, are you really going to blow it or are you going to lie to him? It's like, yes, everything he said is true. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he learned something.
First of all, he had to look to you just to make sure everything was true, despite you being under a lower rank than the guy he was already talking to. Sure, that makes sense.
Right. But yeah, it was like, when he needed to corroborate it, so... I even liked it when they said, like, back in the police station, when that character, the chief, first makes an appearance, There was like he was making fun of the chief, and they was like, keep your voice down. So what? He can hear through walls. They was like, yes.
I was like, yeah, so he has superpowers of hearing through walls.
Right.
Another one when they are at the place trying to go in. Billy gets up talking about police, you're under arrest. And I'm like, why would you do that and you're getting shot at? You think they care? And then when the cops, the back of the door is like, police, you're under arrest. Put your guns down and back away with your hands up. I was like,
Right. Another neat part. This is actually, now that we're talking about it, it got my memory flowing, the juices are flowing again when they go in the inspector warehouse and he's like, you, go get your supervisor right now.
Oh yeah, he just walks in talking about, hey, you got a match? You're not allowed to work. Oh, don't worry, I'm going to go outside. Oh, also, I'm a cop. I was like, what?
Well, no, in that part, he was pretending, not that he was a cop, but that he was like a customs inspector. Yeah. Right.
I'm an inspector. Come on, go get your supervisor. And it's like, all right, so you're telling me that me, a black man, can just walk on in here.
Just like this,
where no one asked me anything. And and this guy over here gives me a match? Give me your IDs. Come on.
Right.
Now, I want everything in this warehouse checked. From top to bottom, starting with this crate right here.
Right.
I was like, okay then. Then he's in the office, and he's like, yep, I want every single file. And then one guy's question was like, oh, is that your porch outside? Should I have a conversation? Should I get the FBI over here? I'll get them over here. And I was like, wow.
Right.
This man's lying ability is off the notch, especially when he went up to the hotel room and he lied about who he was. Somehow, I work for the Rolling Stones, should be under that name. And then he makes a big commotion about it because he knows that, oh, snap, the manager is over there. Let me make a big commotion. That would guarantee I get the room I want.
And the weird thing is that, I was like wondering the entire time, how is he going to pay for this?
How is he going to pay for this? Who's going to really get him all? And the cops come to me, oh yeah, Beverly Hills Cop was paying for it. I was like,
Yeah, but how would he know that the Beverly Hills Cop was going to pay for it?
I don't think he knew. I think he just planned on talking about paying a run or something like that. Like, he would have gave him a fake card and then got out of there, possibly.
Yeah, he was going to steal that room somehow, but he
only sold like 3 robes from them, so...
So he had planned on conning his way out there somehow, but he didn't have to con his way out. He didn't have to steal the room. The Beverly Hills Cop basically bailed him out of that situation, which is crazy. And it's like, why would you go to one of the most expensive hotels anyway? That was weird.
He even asked the bellhop, talking about, is this a cheap place? Well, yeah. I was like,
no, he said, is this an expensive place?
Oh, yeah, expensive.
And the bellhop was like, not Beverly Hills.
I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you see, that's not answering his question.
I think it answered his question plenty. It's like, not for a rich person, no. The warehouse thing was funny when you pointed out that he told them whose porch is, because the dude was getting noticed. It's like, you got a warrant or something. It's like, oh, do I have a warrant? Is that your porch outside? I'll have the IRS calling them all up on your butt. Is that what you want?
They'll probe you. And I've seen it. And it's not pretty. I was like, oh, goodness gracious. You're just lying your way out of this.
and then the guy was like, well, and that's not my porch.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. I was like, oh, why?
Yeah, he was. It's just that the way he could just go off and ad lib as a police officer. That was brilliant. So and I think part of that is his backstory is that he used to be a criminal, so he know how to BS his way out of a situation. Because like when his friend, the one who was murdered, came to visit him, he was like, let's go steal cars. It's like, nah, man,
are you serious? I'm a cop.
I'm a cop. I can't do that no more.
I was like, so you done this before then?
Yeah. And then when he was breaking in, he had a professional lockpicks toolkit. So he wasn't going to smash the door. He was going to pick the lock. And so that basically tells you he has a background in criminality. He's been on the other side of the law before. So that's something else that made him as a character appealing. And another thing is that I don't think that would be the case if Sylvester Stallone managed to be in this movie. He would have played it a little bit more straight-laced. He wouldn't have been a cop that used to be a criminal. And I think in Cobra, when you see that character, you'll see that or that entire movie, He's entirely straight. He's like one of those. He's almost like if Rambo became a cop because he rarely says anything, and he's basically all about he's actions over words. You know, he's that type of person. So but Beverly Hills Cop basically turned out the way it was because of Eddie Murphy, and then like I said, people were so impressed when they first saw it. It was like, oh, we got to have a sequel. We got to have a sequel right away. And that sequel was also very popular, Beverly Hills Cop 2. And then, you know, they liked that, so they made Beverly Hills Cop 3. And that was not as good. It kind of, Beverly Hills Cop 3 kind of, and then so basically I was like, okay, we've done enough Beverly Hills Cop. We've exhausted this IP. We can go on to something else. So, any final thoughts about Beverly Hills Cop, Zachary?
No, it was a very good movie, very funny. I liked it a lot.
Awesome. All right. So, that concludes this episode of the Backlook Cinema Podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed watching Beverly Hills Cop. I would encourage everybody listening to go and check that movie out. If you haven't seen it in a long time, go and watch it again. It's a great watch. And then you can check out its sequels. You might like Beverly Hills Cop 3 better than I liked it. So even look at that one. But that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to please check out www.backlookcinema.com, and you can check out all of our social media from there. Or if you don't want to go through all of that, you can just go to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Just look up Backlook Cinema in any of those places, and you will find us. Thank you so much again. Have a great time. See ya.